Alright, so the other day I put out a video talking about two major nerfs, I guess you could call them, or more accurately bug fixes that were brought forth in Digimon Story Time Stranger that would have major effects on what's considered the meta when it comes to personality skills. The gist of it was basically that combo magic no longer will proc 100% of the time when a Digimon is overhealed by another Digimon with the Great Embrace ability, and the Stout abilities including Stout Strength, Stout Defense, and Stout Spirit also no longer give you a disproportionate buff when overhealed as well. Now in the comments of that video, there were two major sentiments. One was the complaint that since the game's a single player game, they should just leave the balancing of the meta alone. However, to refute that point, and listen, I have every reason not to want them to change this since I literally have a guide on how to break the game this way, but it's a glitch and them fixing it is not a bad thing. On Bandai Namco's part, they had an error in the game and they needed to fix it. This was not a balancing update, nor was it some sort of simple exploit utilizing intended mechanics to do unintended things. This was most definitely some sort of coding oversight that caused this strange interaction between skills, so don't be mad at the developers for fixing something that was broken in their game. The second reaction to this was actually kind of weird, and I'm pretty sure most of the people who commented stuff like this just didn't watch the video or just looked at the thumbnail, because I never once actually complained about them fixing this. I made a joke in the video about how they're personally attacking me since I made a video on it, and I think I said I was like big sad or something, like in a joking tone, and there was this like weird sentiment that the only people who will be affected by this are the disgusting pieces of garbage who dare to exploit a single player game, and that all of these losers had to use this exploit because they can't beat the game on their own and their Digimon teams are useless now and they deserve death. And I don't know, people were just acting like I was upset about this fix when in reality this just means I can make even more content and guides and stuff like that. So I mean, if they didn't fix it, I have a guide that would continue to improve in views, and now that they did fix it, I can make more guides or topical videos or whatever. So I don't really have a horse in this race. I don't know why some of you guys are being weird, but you can fight amongst yourselves whether or not you think this should have been fixed in the comment section. Anyways, the point of this follow-up video is to actually talk about the fact that no, if you made a combo magic team similar to the one I talked about in my Mega Plus team guide, your team is not just suddenly completely useless. There are other personality skills that complement a similar team build very well, and they're still decent skills. So for physical attackers, I want you to keep in mind that Stout Strength is still good, and having Great Embrace coupled with this is excellent for maintaining a high amount of HP at all times. And even if you weren't using Stout Strength, Great Embrace in general is just a great, no pun intended, skill that is extremely useful for Mega Plus difficulty, where a lot of bosses can hit you with insane amounts of burst damage that would, in some situations, one-shot you. Conversely, I don't think combo magic is necessarily great to have with a Great Embrace team anymore, since the whole point of this ability is to proc more often the lower your HP is. There are some options, however. For intelligence-based attackers with combo magic that you're coupling with Great Embrace, I firstly recommend that you change the personality skill to Meditation, which can be obtained if your Digimon has the Sly personality. This personality skill will increase the intelligence of your Digimon from the 4th turn onwards. This does change things a little bit since you won't be getting as much burst damage right off the bat. However, if you're using a similar team to the one I had mentioned in my Mega Plus team guide video, then you're probably running a Coromon who generally will spend the first couple turns of the fight doing percentage-based damage anyway. So you can focus on setting up buffs and debuffs during this time, getting the initial boss health bars down, keeping yourself healthy with a Great Embrace healer such as Venusmon, etc. It will not be hard to stall out a couple turns in order to stay healthy. Also, make sure you shift your Digimon to Astute after getting the personality skill, since that'll give you essentially 30% magic penetration if you're agent rank 10. For physical attackers, if you don't want to use Stout Strength anymore, you could use Slow Starter, which is essentially the physical attack version of Meditation. For this, you're going to want an opportunistic personality, then you can shift over to Brave in order to get a armor penetration effect, much like the Astute magic penetration one. And just like that, you have a team that's still quite powerful. And honestly, with combo magic and Stout Strength, Spirit, and Defense being fixed, it actually does promote utilizing different combinations. The combination of Digimon that I just mentioned are not necessarily busted or the best. In fact, I'm sure that there are more optimized teams, and we're going to continue getting more and more of these as people experiment with different personality skills and the decentralized meta. Now you can't just spam the strongest moves like before. You might want to consider using personality skills that extend buff and debuff durations, those that give initial buffs, and you might want to do more experimentation with the different attachable skills in the game and really flesh out each Digimon's role rather than just having them be able to steamroll everything with moderate coverage. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't really have a major preference with regards to this bug being fixed or not, but I hope at the very least everyone can appreciate the fact that the bug has been fixed, so it's time to make some changes if you used it and are either preparing for Mega Plus, planning on doing a challenge run, or just getting ready for the DLC. Digimon Story Time Stranger's been out over a month at this point, and even with little changes to the game like this, it still manages to incite thoughtful discussions and hopefully a plethora of new team building strategies. Let me know down in the comment section whether or not you're a fan of this change and if you are going to be shifting some of your personality skills as mentioned in the video, or if you're going to be building a brand new team from the ground up. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things monster taming, and special thanks to our supporters, especially Candy Marunci, Tragsoft, Valorware, Nemo, and Wrathful Beast, and we'll see you next time. Peace.